controversial topic in dentistry, which is occlusion in complete denture. So if you notice, I am getting my slides over on the internet for you to be able to have a copy for this. Because if it's done by me, I don't usually release my PowerPoint presentation to the students. Okay? So with this, you can just easily access this through SlideShare for your own notes. Okay? So occlusion in complete denture, there was a student message me the other day doon sa mga nagko-complete denture na CPE or yung clinical proficiency exercise when you graduate or about to graduate. So they are asking about occlusion. Okay? May nagtanong sa akin, Doc, when we are going to set a complete dentures ba, the anterior setting ba, it doesn't need to have an overjet or it needs to be flared out and with contact together with the opposing upper. So, ang tinatanong niya, kung nagsiset tayo ng teeth, dapat ba nagkakaroon na ng contact between the lower incisor and the lingual of the upper incisor. Ibig sabihin, close overjet. Okay? But, please do understand that the occlusion of a normal dentition is very much different from the complete denture. Okay? Remember, for the natural dentition, may it be removable partial prosthodontics, meaning there is still evident enough natural tooth in place, okay? That would mean a different occlusion scheme. Okay? Magkaiba ito, or it's going to be different when there's complete edentulism. Okay? Because please do understand that what we are trying to do is to get the retention from the alveolar bone and the remaining mucosa. There's no other else, or there's no other things inside the mouth that we can rely the retention. Okay? Alright. So, occlusion scheme or occlusion in complete denture. Okay? So, first, occlusion in complete denture must be developed to function efficiently and with at least or with the least amount of trauma to the supporting tissues. Meaning, when we fabricate the complete denture of our patient, our goal for our patient is to function efficiently. So, number one would always be mastication and function movements. Okay? So, hindi naman kasi considered function ang aesthetics, diba? Alright? Ang ganda-ganda nga ng denture pero hindi naman makakain yung pasyente. That's totally useless. Okay? So, function first, secondary na lang si aesthetic. Okay? So, when we already retain back its function, meaning the patient can be able to eat well, okay, with the dentures, but when we are going to fabricate the dentures of the patient, we need to at least, okay, have the least amount of trauma to the supporting tissues. Again, we are relying on to the availability of the alveolar bone and the current state of the oral mucosa. Therefore, we should not inflict trauma to the existing underlying structures and not to create so much destruction, okay, na yung dentures that what we are going to fabricate to our patient will be the cause of further recession. That should not be the case. Okay? Alright. So, definition of occlusion. So, it is defined as a static relationship between the incising or masticating surfaces of the maxillary and mandibular teeth or tooth analogs. So, this is the definition of occlusion when it comes to complete denture. Okay? Alright? So, actually, this is could be a definition for natural dentition as well. Static relationship. between incising, meaning the anterior, and masticating surfaces, the posterior, of the maxillary and mandibular teeth or tooth analogs. Tooth analogs meaning pontics or artificial teeth. Okay? So, mandibular movements. Kalitan nga natin. Yeah, mandibular movements. Okay? Mandibular movements, these are complex in nature. Meaning, di ba, when we discussed about face bone transfer, so ano ba yung pinag-usapan nun? What was the emphasis with the use of face bone transfer? It is just arbitrary. Okay, di ba? Meaning, closer to the exact but not totally the accuracy of it. Okay? Because we need to consider the complexity and nature of the mandibular movements. Bakit? Di ba? It is the jaw or the lower jaw that moves against the upper jaw, right? Because the upper jaw is fixed in the skull. So, mandibular movements may vary from patient to patient. Your opening of the jaw may differ from him. Okay? Your lateral excursion may be different from another person. So, not all mandibular movements are the same. Okay? So, it depends on the muscle tonicity, okay? It depends on the currents, okay? Muscle condition of the patient, okay? So, the mandible move in relation to the maxilla to perform, of course, the functional movements and parafunctional movements. So, parafunctional movements, ano pa ito mga parafunctional movements? When you say parafunctional, meaning it's beyond the normal. It's abnormal movements. Ano ba yung parafunctional? One of which is teeth grinding. Okay, that's considered as a parafunctional movement. Okay? So the movement of the mandible could be the normal function movements or the parafunctional movements. Okay? So it can be classified as masticatory and non-masticatory. So the movements may contribute to mastication or may not contribute to mastication. That's why there's non-masticatory. Okay? Ano ba yung non-masticatory? When we pronounce words, it is in contact but we are not masticating. The tooth may be hello. Yan. The tooth may be in contact, but we are not masticating. There are certain words that needs to have contact in order for us to pronounce such. Okay? But we are not eating. So those are non-masticatory movements. Okay? So, ito tayo. The difference between artificial and natural dentition. Of course, in the natural dentition, we do have the periodontal ligament. Periodontal ligament can also act as a sensory perception. This is the reason why complete denture patient has a lesser sensation when it comes to thermal. Okay? Pagka na-encounter, if you have already encountered, let's say, geriatric patient or old individual, maybe, hello. Oh, hello. Okay. So may it be your older relative. Shift your attention here, not there. Unless if there's a CI that needs my attention, you prompt me. Okay? So, periodontal ligament, okay, is also act as a sensory perception area. So, if you notice that if you have kamag-anak or relatives that is old and without teeth at all, di nyo ba na-notice na mas gusto nila yung sobrang init na kape? Diba? Like when you buy a coffee from Starbucks,
When you buy a coffee from Jollibee or any cafe, because there is just a certain temperature that they need to follow, di ba? And sometimes, yung mga fully edentulous patient, they find it just warm. Hindi siya mainit for them. So some of the patients would still be requesting, can you make it hotter than the usual? Pwede painitan pa ng konti. Because some of the patients that is like your lolo or lola, they would like to make their coffee as if it was just fresh from the kettle. Ganon kainit. Okay? Because these people doesn't have any periodontal ligaments. Now, you still have your teeth, you still have periodontal ligaments. Now, you know if the food is really that hot, usually your teeth acts up. It creates sensitivity when there's very hot food or drink. Am I right? Diba? So, periodontal ligament is very much important, especially when perceiving thermal stimulus. Okay? The tongue can also be an area for sensory perception. But sometimes when you use your tongue, diba, it burns faster than the teeth because this is a soft tissue versus a hard tissue. So sometimes you try to eat something that is hot, you try it with your incisor first, right? Not with the tongue, diba? So you try it with your incisor first, let's say bacon that is just fresh from the pan, okay? You try to eat it with your incisor and see if it's very hot. Then secondary with the tongue, diba? That's how we eat. That's how we try if it's very hot or not. So, periodontal ligament is important in perceiving sensory or specifically for thermal stimulus. Okay? Kaya, you cannot you cannot challenge edentulous people from eating or drinking that is very, very hot. Okay? Yung, in your case, napnus na yung palate mo sa kanila, they enjoy it. Right? What else? Wait lang, kailangan ko naman.
Hello. Ayan. Okay. Function. Okay? So there is a difference between artificial and natural dentition when it comes to function. Of course, there would be a reduction when it comes to function when there is already artificial teeth. Diba? We have already discussed previously in the prelims the amount of force differs from the natural to the artificial dentition. Okay? The function is there but reduced. Okay? On a reduced function scale. Okay? Malocclusion may be non-problematic. This is applicable for artificial dentition. Okay? Bakit? Meaning, malocclusion may not be problematic because it is us that dictates, okay, the dentition of the patient. Diba? When the patient is fully edentulous and would like to have complete denture, would you set it in such a way that the CD patient needs braces? Diba? That's very absurd. You're going to set the teeth as if it's crowding or there is spacing. Okay? That should not be the case. So malocclusion may not be problematic for patients with artificial dentition because we are the one to dictate the setting of the patient. Okay? Now, next. For non-vertical, I don't know what non-vertical means to them, but let's go to the next. Second molar is position for mastication. Okay? In complete denture, okay, specifically when a patient is petite, or when the patient has very large tuberosity, normally we can set the dentition from first to first molar only. Okay? there is an existing bite that we can create that is existing from 1/6 to 2/6 only, and 3/6 to 4/6 only. Okay? So you have to gauge. Mamaya you would be approaching me, Doc, could this be right? I cannot set the second molar anymore because it's already encroaching the tuberosity. It's okay. Alright? Pwede yun. First molar to first molar dentition can be done. Alright? Provided that the structure is already limiting you from putting the second molar. Hindi yung tinatamad ka lang ilagay yung second molar. Okay? Alright. Bilateral balance meaning the bilateral balance occlusion is different from the natural dentition versus the artificial dentition. It's the exact opposite from each other, which we're going to discuss in a few while. And the protrusive movement is different from the artificial to the natural dentition. Okay? Alright. Okay, position for mastication. Second molar is position for mastication, meaning second molar, okay, can be positioned for mastication, but second molar can be eliminated also for mastication. Yes.
If, for example, my space until third molar, is it still necessary to even set third molar? Kahit second molar that is necessary for mastication?
Okay. Artificial teeth is only existing up to second molar. There's no third molar artificial teeth. Normally, third molar is considered as non-functional already. Hindi na siya functional. So, hindi na siya kino-consider when it comes to complete denture or removable partial denture. Okay?
Pero what if, for example, super like maliit yung elevation and sobrang laki ng tuberosity? What would happen kung parang magkash ang first molar in that case?
If it's only the first molar.
Parang may part na nakaangat or something.
Again, ito no. Okay.
What if like yung first molar does not completely fit into the space it's supposed to fit? What would you have to do? Since we need the first molar for mastication.
In terms of mesiodistal width,
Yes.
okay. Normally, okay, in terms of mesiodistal width, I haven't seen a case that does not permit the first molar. Normally, it's the second molar. Okay? If that would be the case, meaning half of the arch is already tuberosity. Okay? Because when you approximate the premolar area, that's half of the arch. Okay? So normally, the tuberosity would encroach as far as the second molar. That's it. Okay? So, kapag when the tuberosity encroached the area of the first molar, that's already pathologic, meaning that's not normal anymore. Okay? Alright. Okay? Selection of the teeth. We have already discussed this previously, but for reiteration's sake. So, artificial teeth are important part of the denture, of course, to establish occlusion and function. These can be divided into three main groups. One is anatomic, second is semi-anatomic, and the last is non-anatomic. So, anatomic teeth, based on the previous lecture that we did, remember the 33-degree cuspal inclination? Okay? That's the anatomic teeth. Okay? And for the non-anatomic teeth, that is the cuspless or 0-degree inclination of the clasp, yung as if pudpod. Okay? But the in-between of the 33 and the 0 degrees is the semi-anatomic, which I haven't seen yet as of today, meaning as far as our traders is concerned, sa mga nagbebenta ng artificial teeth na mga stores, I haven't seen a semi-anatomic artificial teeth yet. Okay? Unless kung sasadyain nyo siyang gawin. Meaning, you'll be the one to manually grind in between 33 degree to 0. Okay? Alright. So, requirements of complete denture according to Winkler, of course, occlusion needs to have stability. Okay? It's kind of absurd if we are going to set the teeth, okay, on an occluding or occlusion of the patient without stability. Okay? Otherwise, if the stability is compromised, there would no be stable function also. Okay? So, walang magiging stable na function if there's no stability. Okay? Next, balance occlusion, meaning this is only applicable to complete denture. Again, this is only applicable to complete denture. This is the reason why the title would be named as requirement for complete denture, not for natural dentition. Okay? So, balance occlusion contacts bilaterally for all eccentric mandibular movements. Meaning, there would be contact, okay, of occlusion both sides, meaning bilaterally, for all eccentric mandibular movements. Ano ba yung eccentric mandibular movements? That would be lateral movements and protrusive movements. Okay? So, why do I say that this is very much in opposite with the natural dentition? Because in complete dentition such as you, okay, meaning may complete set of teeth, okay, when you do protrusive movements such as canine guidance. Canine guidance is when you put your jaw laterally, may it be left or right. Try to shift your jaw right now and have a contact-to-contact ng canine to canine at the side of the working side. Let's say, here, canine to canine. Try it. When you do the canine shift or canine guidance on a complete dentate or with teeth, no contacts should be touching at the posterior and anterior for dentate people. So, the bilateral occlusion in a dentulism or complete denture is exact opposite with the natural dentition. Okay? Why? Because even if you do lateral shifting with us having the teeth, wala namang maaalis eh. When we do lateral shift, there's no going to be popping out of artificial teeth or denture because all of our teeth is anchored in our alveolar bone, right? Unlike with complete denture, it needs to have that stability in all eccentric movements because if there will not be any contact, there would be wobbling of the other side. So meaning there should be something that balance the other side from keeping it having a dislodgement. Okay? So that's the reason why it needs to have the contact bilaterally. May tumutukod on the other side. Okay? And to avoid that tip-top motion. Okay? Again, this is for complete denture. Doc, may nagtanong sa akin, how about for removable partial prosthodontics, Doc? Would this still be applicable? No. Why do you think that's so? Yes, because removable partial denture, there are in a form of clasp. There are locking mechanism in a form of acres, in a form of I-bar, in a form of what? C-type clasp. So that is the one that resists that instability of the denture while doing eccentric movements. We don't have that in complete denture. Okay? This is the reason why we need to have contacts bilaterally for stability. Am I making myself clear?
Yes.
Okay.
So do we need to check this when we're done setting up like this?
In your complete denture, as much as possible, you need to consider bilateral occlusion scheme. Why? Because that is an additional 10% in the board exam. Additional 10% if you can execute bilateral occlusion scheme. So that is a bonus for your case, for your addition, for your overall score.
And that's done only by 600.
No, it can also be done by 400 or 600, provided that your articulator is a semi-adjustable articulator that can do lateral shift. It cannot be done with other articulators with just a hinge type. You cannot execute bilateral movements or side shift and protrusion. Okay? So it can be done with semi-adjustable articulators, maybe 600 or 400. Okay? Alright. Now, I already discussed this previously. Okay? Control of horizontal forces by Buchanan-Weld cusp height reduction according to the order of residual ridge. So if you're going to take a look at letter A, okay, when the order of the alveolar bone is high and rounded, okay, high and rounded, ano yung order ng high and rounded? What's the order number of high and rounded ridge? 1 to 6 lang yung pagpipilian nyo. 4? Are you sure? Diba 3? Kasi pre-extraction, post-extraction, then after nun, high and rounded. Okay? So, when there is high and rounded alveolar ridge, okay, it can resist horizontal movements, meaning left and right, front and back movements. Because your ridge space is still high and round, meaning there would still be enough stability and retention to resist horizontal movements. Okay? So, with this, you may use an anatomic type of cusp when it comes to complete denture. Because even if the patient do lateral movements, it will resist horizontal forces because you still have that solid bone to resist such horizontal movements. But when we reach the flat and the low, okay, in order for your dentures or for the dentures of your patient to be stable during horizontal movements, you may use the semi-anatomic teeth. And yung semi-anatomic teeth is the degree between 33 and 0. Okay? Bakit? Because with this type of alveolar ridge, stability is already compromised. Okay? So, with this, lateral movements, protrusive movements can just easily destabilize the denture. Okay? So, in order for that not to happen, we need to consider non-anatomic teeth to make it semi-passive. Meaning, when the patient tries to grind, when the patient tries to do protrusive and lateral movements, that i-encompass lang yung teeth from one another, it just glides. And will not destabilize the denture in place. Get the concept? But what if it's already negative ridge, like this one? Okay, negative ridge. This is the reason why we need to have the non-anatomic or 0-degree cusp para fully passive. Meaning, when the patient tries to eat, the cusp will just slide from one another and will not tip off the denture in place. Kasi wala nang harang or there's no cusp tip that would tip off the denture when during function. Okay? So, by the time that you will manage your patient, check the range of your patient, we only allow B and C for clinic 3 and 4. Okay? Normally, bone profile of A, which is order number 3, this is good enough for clinic 1 and 2. So do not be disheartened or do not take against us as CI when we reject your case, when we see that your case is about to become in the between of B and C. Unless gusto nyong maging 8 years in dentistry. Okay? So choose your battle because you're under time pressure and 1 semester is not 1 year. Okay? Alright. So, functional lever balance by favorable tooth ridge crest position, meaning we always need to position our artificial teeth at the top of the crest or within the crest of the ridge. Okay? Because this is where the path of eruption happens naman for the patient, right? So, kung saan nagkaroon ng eruption or the previous teeth ni patient, we need to put our artificial teeth for the patient doon sa appropriate area niya. Okay? So, another one, cutting, penetrating, and shearing efficiency of the occlusal surface. Meaning, cutting, penetrating, and shearing efficiency. Actually, this description of the cutting, penetrating, and shearing, this is applicable for the anteriors. Because we do not masticate at the anteriors. Anteriors is designed to cut, to penetrate, and to shear. Okay? Dapat nga incisal surface to eh. Okay. Alright. Naku, nawala. Bakit tingin sa labas? May tao naman sa labas. Wala. Okay. Wait lang. Let me, yes. Okay, bio break, 5 minutes. Kung sino yung lumabas, yun lang dapat ang papasok. And my lecture, you may eat, wag lang yung kanin at ulam, ha. You may eat or nibble anything just to keep you awake, wag lang yung kanin at ulam, please. Okay? Are we all here? Are we all here? Okay, kindly keep the doors locked. You just unlock if you need to. Okay? Next, so after cutting, penetrating, and shearing, another requirement for complete denture occlusion is anterior clearance of teeth during mastication. Okay? This is one point that is different from the complete denture and natural dentition. Okay? So, anterior clearance, meaning there is a space, clearance of teeth during mastication at the anterior. The only time that the anterior teeth would be touching one another is during protrusive movements. Again, this is only applicable for complete denture occlusion. Okay? So, number 7 is minimum occlusal contact between the upper and lower teeth to reduce pressure during function. This is another scheme, okay? Is lingual occlusion or lingually inclined occlusion. Okay? Because specifically for alveolar ridge that is poorly resorbed and we don't want to inflict any more further trauma to the underlying underlying structure, Okay? We can set the teeth on a lingualized occlusion. This is to increase function, but with lesser pressure during movements. Okay? Increase masticatory efficiency, but reduce pressure during function. Okay? That's the reason why this is inclined lingually. Okay, tignan nyo. The upper set of teeth is lingually inclined against to the lower set of artificial teeth. This is to have lesser surface area contact, but there would still be efficiency in mastication. Okay? Because the more surface area that a dentition or maybe natural or artificial dentition, okay? If there would be increased surface area of contact, meaning there would be increase also in pressure between the both. Again, lingualized occlusion, okay, is another occlusal scheme or occlusion scheme specifically designed or specifically for poorly resolved ridge. Okay, there will still be increased masticatory efficiency but reduced pressure. Okay? Reduce lang ang pressure niya kasi it's only the lingual cusp that touches the fossa of the lower. Alright? Okay. So, occlusal schemes for complete denture. There's incising, there is working, and there is balancing. So, ano ba to? So, requirements of incising units. So, what are the requirements? Ito yung tinanong yesterday. This was asked, no, not yesterday, the other day by a clinician already taking the CPE prior to graduation. Mind you, they're already taking 4 repetitions already. Okay? 4 repetitions of complete denture for 6 hours. Because hindi pa rin nila maipasa-pasa. Just a little bit of commercial. Okay. If we, like me, Dr. Martinez for OPD, okay, Dr. Tablarin for RTD, and Dr. Gio Gandula. Are you familiar with Dr. Gandula? For removable partial prosthodontics and the other CIs, okay? We make our standards a little bit high. Okay? If this is the rate of the standards, papasa na sa mata ng examiner or PRC examiner when you aim your scores at this level. But if you want to surpass our standards, you need to attain this one. We make our bar high para malakas din ang chances ninyo of passing the PRC boards. So if you have friends from CEU Manila, they would be saying differently. They would just taking the CP twice. Kasi sa dami nila. So the ratio and proportion of clinical instructors versus the population of the students, so nahayaan na lang nila. At least makadalawa man lang ng complete denture exercise, that's it. Even if the results are not very favorable. And this is also the reason why we produce board top-notchers. Because of repetition, paulit. This happened with Dr. Cesacero. You're familiar with Dr. Cesacero, okay? She's one of the prominent lecturers when it comes to cosmetic dentistry, okay? And for anything that is related to restorative dentistry. So when you're already dentist, you will get to know her, okay? So Dr. Cesacero is a graduate here in CEU Makati. I just forgot what batch year she was, but she landed, I think, on the 4th place of national board exam during her time. Pero, when she was an undergraduate student, iniiyakan niya si Dr. Martinez. Because her class 2 exercise, she made it like almost a dozen times. In repeating and repeating and repeating because it always gets rejected. Pagdating ng boards, she made it to the top because of that repetition. Okay? So when the time comes that when you need to get your CPE prior to graduating, please do not take it against your CI why we always reject your case. Even if it looks like passing to the eyes of the board examiner, but for us, our standards are very different from them. Once you surpass our standards, meaning you have at least 80 chances or 80% chances of passing the national board exam. And that's quite high. Until now, when I check the repeat, meaning the retakes of the senior years and the super senior years of taking the complete denture, against the entire classroom, only one will pass. Hopefully by your batch, hindi naman ganon. So we are just taking into consideration that these super senior, kasi sila yung na-stagnant ng pandemic, online sila eh. So, checking the super senior output versus the senior output, meaning from the super senior, basta yung 6AA, because there's a different level, there's 6A. Okay? There's 6AA meaning super senior and there's a 6A meaning seniors. The output is very much different. So super senior, dun sa 6 hours of complete denture exercises, most of them are still open bite at the end of the time. Open bite occlusion. And doon sa senior years, na inabutan na ng face-to-face, most of them nakatapos. But you know, that should not be the reason, di ba? Na porket nagkaroon ng pandemic. Meaning, you don't have enough time because they're super senior, wala na silang masyadong subject eh. They're just completing their clinical cases at the third floor. So meaning, they now have enough time to practice and to practice and to practice. We just don't get it why yun pa rin yung output nila. Okay? So this, when it's the time for you to get the clinical proficiency exercise, please remember what I've said today. Okay? Consider all of the techniques and skills because yung techniques naman kasi you will be the one to learn it by yourself eh. Because your technique may be different from the others because it works for you, not for them. But the thing there is it makes your work a little bit faster. Kanya-kanyang diskarte yan. Okay? Lalo na sa prosthodontics, I will teach you the basic foundation, but it's you yourself who will do your own technique. Specifically sa festoning, the one that you are going to do in a few weeks time, meaning festoning. You will do the wax up and you will do the carving according to the natural appearance of a gingiva and the teeth, of course. So with this, kanya-kanyang diskarte din or kanya-kanyang technique on how you would be making the trial wax denture into something that is near reality. Okay? Hindi yung mukhang Freddy Krueger. If you know who Freddy Krueger is. Okay? Okay, going back. Alright, requirements of incising units. So these are applicable only on the anterior teeth, canine to canine. So these units needs to be sharp in order to cut efficiently because anterior teeth is designed to cut. Okay? And should not contact during mastication. That's totally totally different from the natural dentition. Okay? It should not contact during mastication because the one that has contact are the posterior teeth. Okay? So, should contact only, so the incising units should contact only during protrusive incising function, meaning during protrusion lang. Okay? Bakit? Why? Why do you think that's so? Ano ba yung sinabi ko previously? The difference between natural and artificial dentition. Diba, we are only relying on to the available alveolar ridge and the remaining oral mucosa, right? So, when we are trying to do bilateral chewing, because we own, you know, humans chew bilaterally, it's not only on one side, diba? Unless there's something aching on the other side. So, when we chew our food from side to side, it is only at the back that we are chewing. Kayo ba kapag ka nag-chew, front, back, front, back, front, back? Hindi, di ba? Pag kumakain kayo ng kanin at ulam, front, back, ba kayo kung kumain? Di ba? It's absurd. Like, front, back, how do you do it? Like, you know, it's always from side to side, right? It's contained to the posterior teeth. But when there is complete denture, meaning there's no anchorage to natural dentition, the contacts of the anterior should not touch during function and would only have contacts during protrusion. Okay? Am I making myself clear? Kasi when there is contact at the anterior at a artificial dentition, okay? When there's contact during mastication, meaning there's function na at the anterior. And there could be dislodgement at the back of the denture. Because you are already contacting at the anteriors, meaning when you set the teeth, that there is a touch between the lower incisor and the upper incisor. Okay, walang clearance, no clearance at all. Meaning, it is already in function even if the patient is at rest. Gets? Kasi may touch na siya eh. When it's supposed not to have. So, when during protrusive movements, that's the only time that these two units will have a contact. Okay? But other than that, when the patient eats, it should not have the contact. Again, this is totally different from the natural dentition. Okay? Alright. Now, it should have a flat incisal guidance as a possible considering aesthetics and phonetics. Remember your articulators. Diba, there is the incisal stage or incisal table that comes in threes. There's the black flat and there's two silver, yung the one that has a partner with the incisal pin. Diba, there's the incisal stage at the anterior. Not if you agree. Again, sa articulators ninyo, diba, there is an incisal platform or stage to where perpendicularly your incisal pins are located. Tatlo yan. There's the flat and there's two silver platforms. Okay? So, normally, we need to have the setting at the flat incisal guidance. May purpose yan kung bakit. Flat, merong mid-shallow, and there's the deep one. Yung mid-shallow, that is designed for 15 degrees. And the one that is a little bit deep, that is designed for 30 degrees condylar guidance. Okay? So, if all of the conditions are favorable, what favorable means, meaning the patient doesn't have temporomandibular joint disorder signs and symptoms. The patient doesn't have any neuromuscular jaw problem. They would just like to change their dentures. You can use the flat incisal guidance. Okay? But what if, ano ang purpose ng 15 and 30? Okay? Para magkaroon nga tayo ng better visual, take out your articulators. It's okay, it's okay. We're going to have the lab just later on. I just need for you to, some of you to visually understand this. Okay? Yan. Miss B, you're using the flat one, the black. Yan. Miss Estrada, you're using the silver. Either you're using the 15 or the 30. Okay? So the black is the one that is flat. Universally, we can use the flat. Okay? Universally, we can use the flat. But, of course, when you bought your articulators, it comes in threes. There's the flat, there's the mid-shallow, and there's the deep one. Okay? The mid-shallow is designed for 15 degrees, and the deeper one is designed for the 30-degree condylar angles. Okay? Yeah, that's the flat. That is the universal one. On 30 degree, it's okay. On your case, because your case is ideal. Meaning we have not any or have any human intervention with your cases. But if there would be human intervention like your patient, when you're managing your patient by next semester, you need to consider using the universal one, which is the flat, but you may use the 15 and the 30, depending on to the needs of the patient. Again, you may use the 15 or the 30 if the patient is already experiencing temporomandibular joint disorders. Okay? Because the relationship between the condylar angle and the incisal angle is proportional to each other. Okay? Mamaya, we're going to discuss that. Okay? Another requirements for incising units is should have an horizontal overlap to allow for base setting without any interference, meaning there should be horizontal overlap in a form of overjet. The allowable overjet of complete denture, maximum na po ang 1.5. Sige, 2 millimeters pwede na rin. Okay? Alright. So another requirement for working occlusal units. So these are the posterior teeth. Okay, these are the occlusal units. It's not anymore incisal units. Okay, so it should be efficient in cutting and grinding. Okay, and have a less buccolingual width to minimize the workload. If you notice, the buccolingual width of the artificial teeth. Okay, di nyo ba napapansin? Aren't you wondering that the buccolingual width of the artificial teeth is somewhat smaller than the natural dentition? Okay? There's no artificial teeth that has the same buccolingual width of a human. Okay? Why? This is to minimize the workload and to avoid further pressure on the underlying structures. Lesser surface area would always mean reduced pressure. Okay? Because in the first place, complete denture should not inflict trauma to the underlying conditions or underlying structures. Okay? That's the reason why we need to have lesser buccolingual width for the artificial teeth. Okay? So, our posterior teeth should function as a group with simultaneous harmonious contact at the end of chewing cycles, eccentric excursion. This is just the same as what I've said a while ago. Bilateral contacts during eccentric movements. It's just the same. Okay? Now, over the ridge crest, we need to set the artificial teeth over the ridge crest in masticating area for lever balance. Ano ba itong lever balance? Okay? The number 4, okay, for us to understand the over the ridge crest in masticating area for lever balance, let's go to the previous slide, which is this one. Okay? Sana meron na itong charge. Okay? Hello. Now, take a look at these images. So, the existing alveolar bone would act as a lever. Tignan niyo siya parang seesaw. Okay? Think of it as if it's a seesaw. Diba yung sa seesaw, there's a fulcrum at the middle. Okay? So, if this is the fulcrum, and if you had set your teeth or the denture teeth far away from the fulcrum, okay? Parang seesaw lang yan, it will always tip to where you set the teeth. So let's say you have set the teeth a little bit farther buccally. Okay? So when the upper denture teeth tries to contact with the lower, and the artificial teeth is away from the crest ridge much more buccally, so the denture may tip off going to that side because it's not on the crest of the ridge, because this is the fulcrum of the denture. You get the point? As if it's just like a seesaw. There's a fulcrum in between. Okay? So this is the reason why we need to set it at the dead center or at the center of the fulcrum. This is to balance, right? To balance the forces. Not too lingually, not too buccally, but at near the crest of the ridge. Okay? Do we get that? Okay. Next.
Paano po daw pag lingual inclined occlusion? Same works lang.
Pagka-lingually tilted, no worries. If pagka-lingually inclined occlusion, the one that is lingually inclined is the upper teeth, not the lower teeth. Okay? Yung lingual occlusion that I mentioned previously, the one that is inclined is on a fixed position, which is the upper dentition. Hindi yung lower, kasi the lower is the one that moves. It will have a greater instability if we incline the setting at the lower jaw. Okay? At least with the upper jaw, when it's lingually tilted, like this one, nasa na natin. Take a look at this. The one that is lingually tilted is the upper against the lower, because the lower is the one that moves. Okay? So, this has lesser surface area. Okay? Kasi it's only the lingual cusp that's touching the lower. So, there would still be stability because of lesser contact area. There's contact, but lesser surface area. So, hindi magkakaroon ng factor for the retention and stability. Okay? Alright. Okay. When there's working, nandito pala, meron pa pala tayong 5 and 6. Okay? So, another requirement for... Yan, nabaano na ito. Ano ko? Hindi ko kasi na-charge eh. Alright. Another requirement for working units is surface to receive and transmit force of occlusion, essentially vertical. Okay? When we eat, balik tayo usually vertical. May it be a lingualized occlusion or not. When we eat, so the force receiving by the denture should have only with the vertical force. Okay? When we eat, there's contact, there's function. So the forces should only be vertical, not horizontal. Because when the patient tries to eat, the force, okay, the distribution of force should be vertical. Okay? Alright. Yan, a surface to receive, transmit force of occlusion, essentially vertical. No other than vertical lang. It should not be horizontal, but vertical. Okay? Center the workload near the antero-posterior center of the denture. Mamaya pag-uusapan natin yan because it is widely expounded onto the other slides. Okay? Next, present plane of occlusion as parallel as possible to the main foundation of the plane, which is going to be explained in a few slides. Okay, not to encroach the balancing occlusal units. Okay, so let's go to the balancing occlusal units. So if there is the working side, there should also be the balancing side. This is the entire idea of the occlusal balancing occlusion. Okay? If there is a working side, there should be other side, which is the balancing side. Okay? So, when there is balancing, okay, the contact of the second molars when the incising units is in contact in function. Meaning, when there is a balancing, it needs to balance, the side needs to balance. If there would be protrusion, okay, meaning we have to concentrate our force at the anteriors, diba? May contact na sa anteriors. There should be someone, or there is something needs to have at the back to balance and to counter that force acted upon on the front. Otherwise, if there's no contrary balance or counterbalance at the posterior, your denture can tip off at the back. Yes. Okay, sige, go. Okay, open, please. Okay lang. Okay, sige, go. Kuya. So, if there's no second molar's presence, it's okay. For as long as there's molar even on the first molar, it's okay. The entire idea for this, okay, if the anterior is in function, meaning in contact, there's protrusive movements. So there is something at the back that should have a counterbalance to avoid that tipping off. So let's say this is the denture. This is the lower teeth. If there would be touching at the anterior, we need to have a counterbalance at the back in order to avoid the tipping. Okay? This is the real deal behind the second molars. That's the reason why it needs to be there. Pero, if the limiting structure, meaning the tuberosity will not permit it, then it's still okay. Okay? Kung wala yung second molar, then the first molar will replace it to counterbalance that acted upon doon sa anterior. Gets? Okay. Contact at the end of the chewing cycle when working units are in contact. Okay. So when we try to chew, at the end of chewing cycle, contact still needs to be present when working units are in contact. Okay? Again, Simultaneous ang contact between working side and balancing side. Okay? Even at the end of chewing cycle, simultaneous pa rin yung contact. When there is no simultaneous contact, that is when the tipping happens. Okay? Even at the end of chewing cycle, both of the sides needs to still have that contact. Otherwise, there would be tipping off from one side to the other. Nagets the idea? Okay? Next, smooth gliding contacts for lateral and protrusive excursion. Smooth gliding contacts, that's the reason why, if you notice me, when some of the clinicians are trying to approve their case, nakikita nyo ginagalaw-galaw ko yung articulator. I'm trying to swing the dentition from left to right, front and back, because there needs to be a harmonious glide when I try to lateral and protrusive movements of the denture and articulation. Okay? Why? For example, when I try to side shift or do protrusive movements, and there is one unit particularly, nangyayari to at the canines. Okay? When the canines are set much more longer than the other dentition, okay? Diba usually when we set our canine, it should be at the level of the central incisor then, diba? Sometimes, canines were set or are being set longer than the others. So when I try to side shift it, nagkakaroon ng interfering movements because of the canine. Kasi it was set longer than the others. Okay. This is the reason why I shift it para makita ko paano yung sabit. Okay? Yung sabit, meaning there's interfering context. And when there is what we call the sabit or the interfering units, I will inform the clinician that you still need to improve the setting of the canines because it's not smoothly gliding to all lateral and protrusive excursions. Sa pag sinabi, Dok, baka konti lang naman yan, baka pwedeng wag na natin gawin. Ako, sometimes, pagka makulit yung clinician at hindi nakikinig, sige, paluto mo. At the end of the day, pag pinaluto na or when the denture is already fabricated and when the patient tries to eat with it, tanggal agad yung canine. Even if it's finally processed na. Then when the patient tries to eat sideways, it's always, interfering from the smooth glideness from left to right. Then the outcome of that, it may prematurely pop out of the process acrylic. Or in extreme cases, there would be cracking of the acrylic on that area. Okay? Alright. Until that time is our break time, supposedly. So, we'll have a break, or 1 hour break. Okay? Then we'll continue with our lecture. Alright? Alright. Let's have our break.